Welcome to Spillin some Bubble Tea. We are back again, but this time with a bit more of a Salmon Run focus. And I'm pretty sure if you were here last time, we've got a bit of a familiar guest for you this time. Welcome to Rachelskiiiiiii, or Rachel.
Thank you.
Back to podcast.
It's good to be back.
And obviously, there's Ty as well.
Yeah, hi.
Ty, we love you.
We do. We really do.
Yeah.
But yes. For last time we were talking about Splatoon 3 just in general with Pixel. We also do have an interview with him after this. But this time, with the Queen of Salmon Run herself, we are... it's such a thing now. It's such a thing.
It is.
We are going to be talking about Salmon Run, the new Salmon Run, tips for maybe, like, current Salmon Run, just, you know, a lot of Salmon Run.
Yeah, if you like Salmon Run, you're in the right place.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
It's going to be very focused on Salmon Run until we get to Pixel later, and it'll just be like a hard right turn into TOing, and, like, yeah, Pixel. But... Right, if we want to get straight into it, first of all, I was unaware of this from even just, like, looking at the two, like, directs we've had with Salmon Run being, like, part of it, but there's so many specials. Like, it's not just 4 this time, there's so many.
Yeah. I'm so apprehensive about what's going to happen, because for 5 years, it's been Inkjet, Stingray, Splashdown, and Bomb Rush. Right?
Mm-hmm.
That's all we've had, and we've found ways to make them work. But now, the only one that looks like it's returning is Inkjet, which is great. I'm super happy about that.
Yeah, that was one of the two ones that, like, if you get to the end of the rotation, and this is me as, like, a Salmon Run noob, and, like, you haven't used both of those, like, what are you doing?
Inkjet is so useful. It's so useful for killing bosses far away, and it's so useful as a panic button as well. Right?
But yeah, if you're the last one, you just press it. Just stay. You can either save your friends, or you just, you know, get some time.
Yeah, just stay out of the way.
Yeah. Just avoid missiles and rain, and you're good, right? So I'm so glad that one's returning. But then we have the ones that have confirmed. There might even be more, but we don't know yet. There's Ink Strike. There's Wave Breaker. There's Reef Slider. There's Booyah Bomb, Crab Tank, and Killer Whale. So we have, I think that's 7, if I can count properly, right? Yeah, 7.
Yes, I think there's 7.
So, like, it's so mad how much Salmon Run is going to change just off the back of the specials. The one that intrigues me the most is probably Booyah Bomb.
Yeah, that's the one I was, like, kind of, like, caught on, because a lot of the other ones, like, oh, it does a little bit of damage, or it means that they can't be there, blah blah blah. But then just like Booyah Bomb, not only do you have the ability to get up out of the way like an inkjet, right? But also, like, you can check it, like, you can spend your time, you know, building it and seeing everything, and then you can check it, you know.
Yeah, and we know how Booyah Bomb works in Splatoon 2, right? So we've already got a knowledge of, we know how the special works, and like you were saying, you have an element of safety and sort of visibility that you can use to your advantage with it, but, like, we don't know how it works in Salmon Run.
No.
Like, what's really...
Plus, like...
Go on.
Oh, no, I was just thinking about the different combinations. Like, you had 4 in Splatoon 2. So you knew what went well, when to use them, that kind of stuff. But now you have 7, and you can literally get any combo, and some might be worse than others. So
right, and like at least you knew when you were going into a game, everyone had one of each special, right?
Yeah.
Now
that's
you're
true.
going to go into a freelance with 3 other people, and you're like, we might not have an Inkjet.
Might not even know. Yeah, that's crazy.
Might not have a Booyah Bomb.
Yeah. And you're right, like, that you do kind of play off the specials. Like, there are certain sort of reasons why you would use an Inkjet over a Stingray and vice versa and stuff. So,
like, for Mothership and stuff like that, you know to use the Stingray to get more eggs. But in some of these instances,
Also, like, when you don't have a Stingray for Mothership, the Inkjet is a pretty good basic B-Tech version of that.
But what if you don't have Inkjet now and we have
exactly.
You know what would be funny? What if you could chuck a Booyah Bomb at the mothership and it just encapsulates? Like, I feel like they can't let you do that. But, like, what if they could? Like, how would you use...
Nah, I doubt it, though.
How would you use it? Does have a hitbox on it, then, right?
Well,
it does have a hitbox.
It does have a hitbox, because on certain maps you can cheese the mothership where you can get above it. So, like, think of Marina's Bay, for example, when you know the main part, but then you know where low tide is, right?
Yeah.
There is mothership on low tide, but if you go back to the top of the boat when low tide mothership, you see over the mothership, and you can use a bomb rush from there to throw the bombs on top of the mothership.
Oh my goodness! So it does it. Yeah, they don't just fall straight through.
No, they've all got hitboxes. That's why the Stingray works. So when you're using the Stingray, you cheese it to the top of the ship.
So if mothership does come back, you can literally just throw a beer bomb and maybe just
stick it.
You will shred every box, theoretically.
But then won't... Well, oh wait. So no, the smart thing would be to use it like when it's right on top of the basket, right?
Yeah, because then all the eggs will fall off around basket.
There will be so many. Just
you just be spending your time putting them in the basket.
But then this is where, like, you think, okay, but what is the best time to use it? And the best time to use it, from what we know about Mothership right now, the best time to use it would be just as soon as you've put enough damage on the Mothership that it shoots off, because when it shoots off, it drops a fuck ton of boxes all at once. And it's called, like, we call it the caviar, obviously, right? So it's like you want to get the caviar of the second Mothership turn as well. So if you threw a Booyah Bomb, you'd get the caviar of the second Mothership turn. If we get Mothership.
That is interesting. Yeah, also that's another point. Are they gonna... We don't even know if they're gonna bring back those, like, additional... Do we?
No, I don't think it's confirmed if any of the night waves are coming back. Although, from speculation and from people doing a bit of investigation, you know Goldie Seeking, the one where you get the shoots? There are pictures of them on maps for Salmon Run.
Right, okay.
So I think we can say with some degree of certainty that Goldie Seeking is coming back. But to be honest with you, if Mothership never comes back, I'd be happy. It's kind of boring. So.
It's one of my favorites.
I mean, it's a nice, safe wave, right? You kind of think, okay, this is it. This is easy. We can win, right? So it's nice from that.
What are your opinions on grillers?
So from 2 points of view, I hate grillers in freelance because I think it's the night mode that the most casual, the most newer players don't understand. And it's the wave that I find the most difficult to control. But from when I'm playing with squads, if I'm trying to, overfish or get high scores, it's probably one of the best. Because they drop 5 eggs. I don't know if you guys remember when Salmon Run first came out, when Grillers was first out, they only dropped 3 eggs.
Yeah, you didn't know that?
Really?
Yeah, they did.
They buffed it because it was so hard. Like, people were failing consistently.
Yeah, because you have a laser on you. You're trying to run away from it. You're trying not to get killed by small ones. And they only dropped 3, so you have to keep calculating in your head how many you need.
Right.
Like, it was too much. It was... Like, with 5 eggs, it was way better.
Like, if you kill, like, for a map on high tide, I think you can get, like, 12 or 13 griller spawns off if you're really quick. So that's, like, 70 to 75 eggs.
Yeah, so overfishing, that is exactly the time that you want it. Also, we should say what overfishing is. I feel like we established what it was in... our interview with you in the last podcast, but just to be sure that everyone knows.
Basically what it is, it's trying to obtain as many golden eggs as possible in Salmon Run. And it's sort of, it goes beyond just getting to professional 999, right? It goes beyond that. It's trying to push the absolute limit of Salmon Run in almost like a competitive sense. Because, like, there's world records and there's tournaments and stuff like that to see who gets the most golden eggs. And it's everything is play by play, second by second, and boss by boss. It's very intense and highly focused, and you don't overfish in freelance, you overfish with a squad, right? So
Yeah. No,
No,
I don't
you
think
can't.
you could ever overfish in freelance. No. I'm sure some people try, but
so it's basically highly competitive Salmon Run. So, yeah.
Nice.
So yeah, Grillas is good for that, and some of the night waves are really good for that. Especially Goldie seeking. Like I'm sure you've seen videos of the strats with Goldie seeking when you've got a dynamo roller, and you just
and you just sit there and you roll over them.
because
But very, very slow.
because
So
the dynamo
the roller
just...
still stays on the floor, right?
Yeah. So you sort of throw the roller down, and when it's Goldie seeking with the shoots, you push against the Goldie as it's coming towards you, and it will just... the dynamo has such a high DPS output that it would just shred the Goldie and all the eggs will pop. So it's basically stuff like that. Like night waves are really good for overfishing, but there's no confirmation of any night waves in Splatoon 3 at the moment, so that will be interesting. There might be different ones.
This might be like from Splatoon 1 to Splatoon 2 when it came to the specials. They might just throw it all out and come with something different, or they might just add to it and you have even more possible night waves and different waves that...
Yeah, like if they get rid of Mothership and Rush, I'll be happy. We don't like Rush.
Yeah, Rush is... Do you have a roller?
Yeah, basically.
To sit in front of you. Yeah.
Or the Tensorbrella is really good for that as well.
That makes
but yeah,
a lot
like
of sense.
the different specials, right? So there's
yes. Back to what
like
we were originally
things
talking
like
about.
Ink Strike and Reef Slider and Crab Tank. Like we barely have much information on how they're going to work in PvP. So we probably have more, like, not as much information for Salmon Run. So like one of the things with specials in Salmon Run that the community has sort of found out over time is the certain amount of damage output that a special can do and what bosses they're best used against. So for instance, Stingray are really useful for getting stingers on the other side of the map, and they also shred flyfish. If you aim your stinger in the middle of a flyfish, it will kill it. Right,
that makes a lot of sense.
Stinger you would use, or if you've got 3 scrappers lined up, you would try and line everything up, and you can just sort of beam to the other side of the map, right? And then you have Bomb Rush, which is really good again for flyfish, because you need bombs for flyfish, but it's also good at just getting rid of rubbish. And also in the community, it's known as the ink tank refill. So you just press Bomb Rush and it just completely regens your ink.
Oh, yeah, never thought about it that way. I think the only time I ever use it is on what's the most recent like map? I know it's like ages ago, but I never remember, like Arc Polaris or something. Yes, I always use it on Arc Polaris whenever I'm on the whenever it's high tide and I'm on the rail going round my team and they're all dead. That's the only time I remember to use it if I have it. I'm like, oh yeah, I've got bombs I can shower on my
But like
friends.
it's really good for like a panic, like everyone's dead, throw bombs, right? And the longer you hold them, the further you throw the bombs. The same with your normal sub weapon. And then Inkjet is really good as a safety, but it's also really good for one-shotting steelheads, putting a lot of damage on cohocks and eels. But like what I'm talking about with specials is that other tech that I don't think a lot of casual players, is the Stingray will kill a steelhead, but you have to use a whole Stingray to kill a steelhead. It pierces its body, right? Like,
yes, but it's still so beefy.
yeah, it takes almost the duration of the Stingray to kill it. So you wouldn't use a Stingray on a steelhead. But actually, if you aim it at the steelhead's bomb that it produces, it will kill it quicker. But if you want to get rid of 3 steelheads, you'd use an inkjet or a splashdown, right? So we've like the community has sort of gathered knowledge and information over the past 5 years on which specials work well against what and stuff. So when you look at specials like Reef Slider or Killer Whale or Wave Breaker, it's like, I don't even know how I'm going to incorporate them, especially Wave Breaker, right?
Yeah, it doesn't really have like... By the looks of things, it doesn't really have too much vertical, or even if it does, it's like, it might be quite difficult to aim, if you know what I mean, because you have to have that run up, and by the time you've got there, the salmon has moved. It's kind of different from... It's like our new version of Splashdown, right? But it seems like you can't control it as easily. I don't know.
One of the things that I really liked about Salmon Run is the bosses in Splatoon 2 teach you how to use the specials. Right? So the Stinger teaches you how to use the Stingray, the Flyfish teaches you how to use Bomb Rush, and so forth. And a lot of the bosses teach you how to use other specials, like the Drizzler. It shoots off the torpedo, which gives Ink Storm.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So I wonder, for me, there's also, like, I wonder how the new bosses are going to incorporate those special usages as well.
Oh,
yeah. Well, what immediately I would say isn't, like, Big Shot,
right,
like, Ink Strike, or something like that. No, Big Shot, isn't it, like, the Wave Breaker, actually, when it hits stuff? Like, it's kind of a mixture between both, because it's thrown, or, like, shot, but then also it does the same thing as a Wave Breaker whenever it actually lands.
What I'm really looking forward to is finding out, like, new tech for killing bosses, because, like, again, I don't know how many people know this, but a splashdown can take out a Flyfish basket.
Really?
Yeah, but you have to be above it, obviously,
Yeah.
so you can jump off, splash down right into a Flyfish basket, and it will kill. It will only get rid of one basket, so it's kind of a waste. It's kind of a meme, to be honest.
Yeah, but that's actually, that's cool. I didn't know that.
So, I wonder, like, what type of tech we can abuse in the new game with these different specials.
Also, is it confirmed? I'm pretty sure it is that the what's it called? The Squid Roll and Squid Surge are in Salmon Run. Yeah, that is confirmed. So that also adds, like, different movement abilities, which is cool for everyone.
Yeah, I think in the first, because we had the Salmon Run trailer months ago, didn't we? The next wave. I think it showed the Squid Roll in that, didn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know about Squid Surge, but I don't see why it wouldn't be.
Yeah. I was just not sure if I could remember back and remember seeing that or not.
There was so much in the direct. There was so much that after I watched it the first time, I was like, what have I just seen?
Yes, the brain is not processing anything. Just like, what?
So much new information about the game, like not just Salmon Run, but everything else as well.
Yeah, it's just kind of mind blown. Still. Yeah, I suppose the other thing is, like, sure, we can speculate about, like, what these specials might be good for, but without the proper, like, understanding of, like, exactly how the boss salmonids work, it's kind of hard to be like, yes, this crab tank is the antithesis of Slamonid, or, you know what I mean? Like, it's hard to be this is going to be good against that whenever we've seen video footage of it, and that's what it,
Yeah, like, I wonder, like, what specials can pierce. Like, with the Drizzler, your Stingray, again, can pierce through the Drizzler when it's not open. So it's like other specials. Like, I wonder if Booyah Bomb can pierce through outer shells like that. That would be so interesting. Even, not to a point where it destroys it, but does damage to it.
Yeah.
That would make more sense, though, because it's like, sometimes it depends if it's on the floor or not, or if it can go under. Like, for the Drizzler, it makes more sense to, like, I feel like logically it's like, well, technically it's open at the bottom, so technically you should be able to, like, touch it. So with the beer bomb, it will be the whole, if it's on the floor, because you can throw the beer bomb kinda in the air as well, so long as something is touching it, right?
Yeah.
So if it's on the floor, it should engulf the whole thing, right? Because it'll be below the platform, so the whole thing should die technically.
But yet again, we don't know for sure if that's how they're going to treat it. Because maybe the Salmonids have come up with something that deflects booyah bombs or something, I don't know.
They got smarter.
They got smarter, and they got bigger, apparently. Beefy boys. But yes, like, what, out of the 4 new boss Salmonids, which, in your mind, is, like, the most interesting to you, as someone who's, like, a bit of a veteran?
Big Shot looks interesting because it looks different from the other bosses. Like, what I mean by that is, like, with the Steelhead, you have to wait till it does its thing before you can attack it. The same with Drizzlers and other bosses. They're on a time cycle, right?
Yeah.
whereas Big Shot can't always looks exposed.
Yeah, he's
So
just
I'm like,
a big salmon.
yeah, so I'm like, well, will that be really easy to take out, or will he have some sort of like HP bar, or will there be like a layer that you have to wait, like a thing that you have to wait for?
Doesn't he like? Because in what I've seen, he kind of like comes onto the shore, places his cannon, and then leaves. Because you've actually seen him just leave. Maybe you're not really supposed to just. I don't know. Like, why does he leave?
Well, I wonder if you can kill him before he leaves.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
so I think the likelihood is that he comes up with his cannon and his cannonball thing, and he puts it in, and it goes, and then he's off to go get another cannonball or whatever it is, right? So that's
from the water, so
cycle.
he keeps putting. Okay.
Yeah. So it's like interesting because like Flipper Flopper, it just looks like a more intense Moors. Right?
Yeah, isn't that the big one that's like jumps into the air and then comes down?
Yeah, and you get the warning circle as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have the fish stick, which we've seen video footage that you just climb up and shoot them. Right, so that looks annoying, and it looks like a static boss that you can't lure towards the basket. So it looks annoying from that point of view. But it looks pretty straightforward. And slamming lid as well. Like it's got I think in the direct it showed where it exposes itself, like its weakness after it's finished its cycle. So Big Shot, I'm still a bit like, I wonder how that works.
I wonder what we're getting with that. Yeah.
What I also wanted to mention as well, like in Splatoon 2 at the moment, you will only ever have 3 of the same bosses on the map at any one time.
Right.
So you can't have more than 3 stingers, you can't have more than 3 steelheads, unless you defeat one of them, right? You can have many more bosses, but like there'll only be 3 of the same one. So I wonder what the cap will be for if they'll change that, if they'll lessen it, because there's more bosses now.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, and also that reminds me, like one of the bits of Salmon Run tech I have picked up over the years, probably from Celia or from you, is the whole kill only half of the missile boys. What are they called?
Flyfish.
Flyfish. Yeah, kill one half. Like only take out one half. Was it cripple it and then leave it be?
Yeah.
So that there's only 3 there, which is only technically 1.5's worth of missiles.
Yeah, that's a easy strat if you don't want more flyfish to spawn and you want to make the area a bit safer, right? So I use that tech in freelance because I can't control 6 flyfish baskets, but I can control 3.
It's not the end of the world if like one of your randoms comes along and kills one of the flyfish and starts putting the eggs back, like.
Right, exactly. And usually by that point it's like 20 seconds of the wave left, and in hazard level max I think bosses stop spawning after 20 seconds left anyway, so
so yeah, then it's pretty perfect.
So yeah, there's like already just with the specials alone there's so much to decipher.
Oh, 100%. 100%. But yes, going back then to egg throwing, like that just opens up a whole lot more. You don't have to always be making the whole trek back, putting the egg in, and going back again.
My reaction when we first saw egg throw in the announcement from a few months ago was like, I remember I was sitting with Wes and we were watching it on his couch, and like I saw the inkling throw an egg, and I like grabbed him and I was like, "You can throw eggs!" I was like stunned.
Oh, that's so cute.
Because like that is such a game changer. Like it's like just completely like imagine Arc Polaris right now, right? You're at the bottom and you can just throw eggs up to the mid tier at the very least. Like how much time would that save?
Yeah, and also that means that the purple boys that steal him have even further to go, right?
Exactly. Yeah, like even if you just throw 3 eggs closer to basket, but then to be honest, it does use your ink tank the same way a bomb does. So that's going to be interesting to sort of work out what's more effective.
Yeah.
So maybe you just have different people on different levels. So if everybody is spaced, like more or less spaced out, then you'll have like your own job. You stay in the middle level, you just make sure you throw whatever eggs are near you, just throw them to the top.
Like a hot potato, right?
Yeah, like a chain reaction. It should make things easier So sometimes people just go from all the way to the bottom,
Oh.
and you have to go all the way to the top, and that just wastes so much time.
It might be something along the lines if you have someone who's set on, like, because they have a long range weapon, to like shoot from the mid, or the if we're talking about Arc Polaris specifically, shoot from like the mid level down and rain bombs down, and then as soon as like they get any eggs get chucked back up, that's their job until there aren't any left, and then they're like back to just like cover fire and whatnot.
Right, so that's like kind of like one of the strategies in overfishing is with the 4 of you, there will be one person who remains at basket while the other 3 people go out and kill the static, which is either a fly fish or a stinger, and bring the 3 eggs back. Because like the point of overfishing is to get as many eggs as possible.
Yeah.
So when you go kill a stinger far away, 3 of you all go together to go collect every egg. What's an egg? To go collect every egg, and then bring them all back. And then you've got one person at basket who usually has either a slower or a more powerful weapon that takes care of basket spawns. So even like then you can see the way that works with egg throw, right? You can have your fast, powerful weapons like a sploosh or something running around, picking up eggs and throwing them closer to basket.
Yeah.
It's a game changer.
Yeah.
Loads of strategies. So many strategies to remember and learn, and probably most of the stuff that you've talked about, not gonna lie, so far, it's like, I have no idea what you're talking about or where you got this info from.
But it sounds so cool, though.
It does!
Yeah.
I'll tell you where a lot of my information is from. I'll tell you. That will help out the community. The first and foremost is the Salmon Run server on Discord. That's the biggest server for Salmon Run in the world. It's like international. I think it's got... let me just go on the server now. I don't know how many people it has, but thousands, right? There's thousands of people in this server. So it's one of those huge servers with hundreds of active people at any one time, and there's a bunch of resources and information in there. And then there's also the Salmon Run Overfishing server, which was created, I want to say, like at the end of last year. It's relatively new.
Really? Okay.
But it's specifically for overfishing strats. And that has, oh my god, it has so much information. It's unreal how much information you have. Like anything you want to know where a boss is most likely to spawn at any given one time, it's here. You want to know what percentage your game is at, like in terms of hazard level, it's here. Like the best way to attack bosses, it's here. Like there's so much information, and it's all been crowdsourced and sort of put together by very like respected members of the community. Like I'm not going to name people, but because I'll probably forget someone and I'll get in trouble for doing that. But there's like a core group of people that have been playing this game every day since it's released, that have slowly been putting their information together and been going into the show. Like we all know the show, but it's really useful for Salmon Run because you can, if you fail a wave in Salmon Run in the show, you can replay it. So you can replay the same seed, right? So you will get the same outcome every single time. So if you want to learn how to best deal with high tide gorillas on a map, you will just have to keep going into the show until you get it, and then just keep replaying the same seed. So things like that people have crowdsourced over the years, and like like a stupid piece of tech, you know, Rush, where you got the glow flies on you. Like you can squid bag through the chum and you won't take any damage.
What?
Yeah, like the Goldie will give you
burning.
damage.
Yeah.
Jeez.
But you can squid bag through the chum. They will just go straight past. If you don't have the gold flies on you, they'll just go straight past you. But if you have the gold flies on you, they will just pile on top of you. And if you're consistent with your squid bagging, they won't damage you.
That's insane. Oh my goodness.
So like, I remember when I found that piece of tech out. That's a relatively new piece of tech in terms of 5 years. I think it was found out last year. And I remember seeing, I think it was Marty. Marty is like just such a legend in the Salmon Run community. He's done so much for the community in terms of discovering things and pushing the game to its absolute most. And he posted about it on his Twitter, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to try it on stream. And it actually worked. And there's a video of me just like popping off going, oh my god, you could squid bag through the chum.
That's so cool. I need to do that.
So like all this information, none of it is from me. this, but I know where to find the information and where to look. And, and even at like a more casual level, there's salmonrun.inc as well, which is very useful for new beginners or new starters looking to branch out more.
Right, yeah.
As well.
Yeah,
so there's lots. There is lots.
Right, we will chuck all that in the description for anyone who's super interested. And just, to be able to have a look at what we're actually talking about.
And I will preface this as well, like, the Salmon Run community wants more people in it. Because we feel like we're so overshadowed by the comp PvP community and even the casual community. When you see people that just play turf, I feel like there's more of them than there is Salmon Run people. So it's like, if you're remotely interested in the Salmon Run community, like, it's very welcoming. We're always letting people in. People don't feel bad about asking silly questions. Everyone has to learn somewhere.
Exactly.
Yeah, so it's very welcoming.
Yeah. Where are
anyway,
we?
that was a bit of a detour.
A little bit of a tangent. A little bit.
Yeah,
so
can
you chuck egg, can you put eggs in Big Shot's cannon after he's dead? Is that... there is an egg cannon, right? For the final wave. For the final bit, but it's not the Big Shot one.
No, yeah, so I don't know. Yeah.
That would make sense though, because they look the same.
Yeah, exactly.
The same shape, it looked like it could fit in there. But only in the video that we did see was them trying to destroy it. We didn't actually see them trying to put one in.
Yeah, it might.
That would make so much sense.
Yeah, it'd be cool if, for example, sure, when you kill the boss, the cannon disappears. But in that time period where the boss buggers off and then comes back again, if you could, get over there and put eggs in it to check
and
it
direct it up to your basket.
Yeah.
Because I think...
And then when he comes back, you kill him.
Yeah. So then that means that there's kind of a toss-up between, killing the guy and getting eggs from him, or just, using him to send eggs back to basket, right? So you gotta risk a reward. Yeah.
I'm gonna put in my diary in 6 months' time to come back and listen to this episode. Because how cool would it be if we actually got some stuff right?
Oh, that would be
speculation.
So cool. To be fair, what we should do is we should have a follow-up podcast about it, right? We should listen to it and then be like, well...
we got it all wrong.
Yes, let me tell you about Salmon Run. Because to be fair, we're you're talking about a lot of tech for Salmon Run, as you know it right now. But it would be good to have a follow up as well of this podcast, being well, we talked about this before. We've just listened to this podcast, and we're coming back to it, and we're like, so some of this was right. Talk about that, and then some of it wasn't, and there's some we didn't even know the possibility of existing, and then be able to have a tips and tricks of Splatoon 3 actually. So
yeah, we should do that.
We should do that. We should definitely do that.
If I'm here, if I'm still here,
well, as long as you have access to record, you'll be fine. We'll figure it out. Don't worry, Ty. It'll be fine. But yeah, so it's interesting to think about that. And also, you did say old maps. How many of them have we got confirmed, or is it all of them?
I don't think any of them are confirmed, actually.
Oh.
I might...
Were you just hoping for old maps, or...?
Well, so I really don't want to see Marina's Bay spawning grounds come back. I really hope neither of those maps come back.
Mm-hmm.
They're kind of like the OG maps of Salmon Run. Marina's Bay was the first and Spawning Grounds was the second.
Marina!
But then, since they've released Arc Polaris and Salmon and Smokeyard, and even Lost Outpost to a certain extent, it looks like they've the one with the house.
Yeah, no, that's my least favourite one out of them all. Oh my god.
Right, yeah, so it's kind of like a controversial opinion in the Salmon Run community because a lot of people hate it, but I actually don't mind it.
Yeah, it's not that bad.
Yeah, I don't mind
especially when you go when it's low tide. That is great.
Yeah, low tide on Lost Outpost is great, but so low tide on Marina's Bay is amazing as well, actually. It's just...
It's like 50-50.
Marina's Bay sucks.
Depends what you get. It could be really good, but then high tide is so shit.
Yeah, like if you
Ooh,
look
so
at
bad.
Marina's Bay for like the prime example, like that's the first map, and the basket is right at the back of the map, and the map is so long and it's so wide, and you just that's why I think 99% of games fail on that map is because you just don't get enough eggs.
Yeah, because you're running back and forth.
You're running
unless
back and
you have
forth.
glowflies.
Exactly. So when you look at Arc Polaris, Lost Outpost, and Salmon and Smokeyard, the baskets are in the middle of the maps, and you can see like that's a big improvement.
But since we can throw the eggs now, does it really matter that much anymore?
Right, exactly.
If we do have them back,
I don't want Marina's Bay back.
You're good and done with that one.
But then we also have the maps from like the actual game itself, like the ranked, and they might get rid of all of those, but we mainly just play on the other maps that we have since they've shown one.
Well, yeah, but that's only for Big Run, which is completely separate, right? That's only happening every like couple months, while normal Salmon Run happens in between that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but how do we know how much is a couple months? They might do a couple months in real time, or they might do it like
no, it'll be real time. From how they were talking about it, I'd imagine. Yeah, those are like big events. I'd say it's kind of like it's like the Splatfest of Salmon Run by the looks of things. So I'd say that wouldn't happen that often.
Yeah, so I don't think I was just looking. I don't think any maps are confirmed to come back.
Okay.
And there were a couple of new maps in the trailer.
But we
don't
know what they're. Do we know what they're called?
So one of them is called Sockeye Station.
Ah, yes, Sockeye Station.
And then there's another map that they've shown, which I think doesn't have a name right now.
It's like the Egypt pyramid one that we have.
Yeah.
And the other one's just that's a thing.
So that's all we know at the moment. It'd be nice to see Arc Polaris and Smokeyard come back because they're really good maps, and I think like the design of them, their layout, they're all really good.
And they will suit the throwing mechanics and the new stuff. Yeah.
Like if you think of Arc Polaris, it's quite vertical, so you can throw eggs up, and then with Smokeyard, you've got the two lifts in the middle.
Lifts to take you across.
You can throw eggs over them, so they kind of suit the mechanic of egg throw. Whereas Marina's Bay and Spawning Grounds, I hope never come back because they're just poorly designed maps.
Nice.
Yeah.
We want to talk about the king salmon?
The big boy. The
biggest
boys.
Yeah.
Because my whole thing with that is just the damage. Because in the trailer, this woman is so excited. So much damage. And then you just see the tiniest sliver of his health go down. So, like, is it more damage with a weapon? Is it more damage with an egg? Can you even really hit them that much with a weapon? Like...
Yeah, like it didn't explain too much about why this extra wave appears or what the best way of defeating it is, because they show like this cannon, the egg cannon, right? That you can shoot eggs. But what's interesting is from the description on the Splatoon 3 website is that it doesn't recognize the extra wave as part of the main 3 waves of the game.
It's just like a bonus thing. If you
like
get there, you get there. If not, then it's not that bad.
Yeah,
it's
you still pass the wave.
Yeah.
So, and like I was thinking about it from like an overfishing point of view. Like, I don't think overfishers will be too interested in this extra wave because it's just killing a boss and that's it. It's not collecting eggs or anything like that. So that will be interesting for overfishers to try and decipher because. Like we don't know why this extra wave is going to appear yet, and we don't know if it's because you've reached a certain hazard level or your rank is all high, why this extra boss happens. So there could be an interesting point where like overfishers go, well, actually we don't want to get past a certain threshold so that we don't trigger the extra wave.
Yeah, so that you can just keep like focusing on actually just getting all those eggs as opposed to having to deal with the boss at the end. And
that's gonna be a lot of trial and error though, because you're gonna have to figure out, is it how many eggs you have overall? Is it a certain time limit because you did it really fast or something, or like you put as many eggs in a certain like time before, like you got to the checkpoint before a certain amount of time that you have, something like that. It could be literally anything, and you're gonna have to figure that out.
Or it could just be completely random.
Random,
Yeah.
exactly.
They are not gonna like that if it's random.
If it's random, like, you will might never ever find out if it's random because there's so many variables.
Exactly. And like, we have this thing called Salmon Timer, which is a website that counts down from 8 minutes, and every time it hits 0, everyone joins a freelance lobby at the same time. It's just to try and meet more people in the community. That is because that timer works because we know how long a game of Salmon Run is, and we sort of give a buffer of like 30 seconds on each side as well.
So you can't do that now because somebody might be in an extra wave and you can't join back.
So there's so much about the next wave in Splatoon 3 that is changing so much about Salmon Run as we know it now and as we have known it for like 5 years. To be honest though, I'm kind of stoked for the extra wave. Like the boss.
Oh yeah,
it looks
especially
really
the
fun.
clothes and like, well, we don't even know what else you might actually get. They might add like some ridiculous buffs or something, or like you can use something in the next round that you play. We don't know. So.
Yeah, and you use golden eggs for offense. Like you shoot golden eggs at the boss. Right? You don't collect them, so that's also using golden eggs in a completely different way to how we know already.
Yeah, and maybe the better you, like, obviously I suppose this kind of makes a lot of sense, the better you do in the past 3 waves is the amount of ammo you have to take on this boss.
Yeah, so then maybe it is better to get more eggs then, because
maybe overfishers start being like, nah, I don't want to be doing this, and then if they actually do get, like, you know, to a certain threshold of eggs and then just spam it at the boss, it'll just take it out really quickly, depending. And then maybe
or
that
they'll
gives them
just
more.
all die.
Yeah.
Or if he dies, you might get way more eggs.
Yeah, because you do get rewards for beating it, and we just don't know what the
because he's a
rewards are
fish.
yet.
He's a big fish. You might get loads. You might get like
fish.
20. You might get like plus 20 eggs just for killing him or something. You don't know.
Yeah, no, it looks really good, and I like the fact that they're adding more to Salmon Run. Right, that was my main takeaway from watching the direct last week and the sort of the video a few months ago was like, it was like, holy shit, they realised that there's a community of people that really like Salmon Run.
Yes.
Because when you look at Salmon Run now, you can sort of go, this was made as an extra sort of add-on to get chunks, to get abilities, to farm money, and to practice with weapons. It was meant to be like this little side thing that you could do just to relax or do something different. And now they've sort of made it into this fully fledged mode with all these new bosses. And the biggest takeaway is that Salmon Run will be available 24/7.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which, as we all know, currently isn't. So, you know, it's really like, that was my biggest takeaway, was like, oh my god, they've put so much effort into Salmon Run. They've really noticed that there's a community out there that pretty much only play this mode. I would probably say 90% of the time I've spent in Splatoon 2 has been on Salmon Run. So
I wonder how many hours you have in that.
Do you want me to tell you?
Just that alone.
So I recently, because someone else while I was streaming, I think last week or the week before, asked me how many hours I had, and I was like, all right, let me check. I just crossed 5,000 hours in Splatoon 2.
How much is? I want to know exactly how much is that. It's just Salmon Run.
Well, you could probably make a really good educated guess because you know how many, it shows you how many shifts you've done in Salmon Run.
Yeah.
So I am almost at 21,000 shifts. I'm at like 20,900 or something crazy. Like
hey,
that.
if somebody in the comments wants to
do the
tell us
maths,
how much, I'm not doing that. That's too much.
Listen, 21,000 shifts isn't even that crazy compared to some of the other people I know in the community. Let me just tell you that.
I can just imagine.
So imagine what that's going to be like if you can just play Salmon Run 24/7.
Yeah, because you have to also keep in mind that this is from not being able to do it, like, all the time. You can't just hop on at any given time and be like, I'm going to play some Salmon Run. Especially at the beginning of Splatoon 2. Like, they weren't, it wasn't that often.
No, they definitely kept, the space was longer, wasn't it? The time was longer in between.
Yeah, I think so.
For me, like, that's probably, like, selfishly, like, the biggest quality of life improvement is because I genuinely plan my streams around which rotations are live, because the community, again, have got a website that has got all the data from all the future rotations that are coming up. So if you want, you can find what rotations are coming up months and into the future. So it's like I will plan certain streams around that and trying to organise my life and personal life around what the
That's
Salmon
so
Run
sad.
rotation. It is when you think about it, right? It's like, okay,
But
I
it
need to play
makes
this
sense.
this rotation.
I think
Right.
that's better though, because then you know what you're gonna do at that time, at that day, instead
listen,
of having to do it off a whim.
When I've planned streams with people, like people are like, oh, we should play together. I'm like, okay, and I show them a list of rotations that I can do. I'm like,
my god.
so someone I know reached out to me and was like, oh, there's 3 of us and we really want to try and get our 9s this Tuesday coming up, like in 2 days, right? And I was like, yeah, let's do it. This rotation's really good. I can do Tuesday night. I'll meet you at 9 p.m. And then I forgot that I've actually got plans, and I can't. So, but it's like I planned that for like a month in advance, and then I remembered my plans last week. I was like, I can't make it.
Dude.
But like every time that I've sort of planned a Salmon Run, it's been like a month in advance.
That's
like, well,
insane.
apart from the only person that I didn't, that I got quite lucky with, was actually Dude.
Really?
Yeah, like I reached out to him and he was like, Rach, the only weekend I can do is this weekend coming. And I was like, oh my god, me too. Because like neither of us could do like the next month of weekends, because obviously Dude is a very busy man.
Yes.
And I had a lot of other stuff going on as well. And so we sort of planned it in like 4 days, but that's a rarity.
Yes.
Like normally if I do these like planned collab streams with people, then it's like a month or 2 months in advance.
Oh wait, so me playing with you on Wednesday?
Oh wait, it's about the same. Yeah, that's super quick. Yeah, like genuinely, I remember there's this one woman in the community who I love. She's called Nanja, right? I adore her, but she's older as well. You know, she's not a student like most people are in the community, so she's got her own life. And I remember we were like, let's do a twin lance together where 2 of you go from 400 to 999, right? And twin lancing has its own challenges and fun with it. And we were like, okay, let's plan it. We planned it 6 weeks in advance.
Oh my.
We were like, these are the days that we're free, and the only ones that lined up was 6 weeks in advance for a rotation that ended up being really good. So I like remember putting it in my diary, twin lance with Nanja, for 6 weeks time. So like Salmon Run being available 24/7, huge quality of life change for me.
Huge deal. Oh my
Huge deal.
goodness. And yet again, competitive players, they spent very little to them. Like casuals, competitive, like of in PvP stuff. It's just like, we could play Salmon Run whenever. But then the actual Salmon Run community was like, we can play Salmon Run whenever.
It's so mega. I remember, you know, when the first trailer for the next wave came out. When was it? It was like February this year, right?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
I remember reading tweets from people like Shaq and Negus, and they were like, bro, we watched a whole Splatoon direct and it was just Salmon Run. Because obviously, like, they're comp players, right? And they're comp streamers. And I just remember being like, it's like the best day ever.
Yeah, because that makes sense, right? Like, if it was a whole stream on just, like a new ranked mode or something, like, they'd be popping off and you'd be like, well, okay, sure. Yeah.
Which I don't know how I feel about that. It's like, we've got a lot. We've comp and creators, we got a ton of shit.
Yeah.
So if I kind of just don't want to see people, especially on Twitter, complaining, oh, someone got this, someone got that, oh, they got more stuff. They're most like, let them have their moment.
Yeah,
let them have their thing.
Exactly.
Because I know for a fact, you know, the card game, I know for a fucking fact that people are gonna start complaining about that shit.
Ugh.
I know they're gonna be people just playing this game because it's the card game. It's just because basically, what's the game called?
Tabletop Turf.
Tabletop Turf.
Like, just like,
just let people enjoy what they want to enjoy. Also, when did we become so elitist about ranked? Like,
I know.
Let people
what the
play
fuck?
Salmon Run. Let people play card games. Let people play Turf War. You know, let them enjoy.
Imagine
the
just
game.
Imagine just enjoying a video game.
I know.
I know.
know.
It's like it's positives and negatives and everything, and you see that, like, especially like bigger games, like you see like the media and all that. It's like, And then you see like just like nice community, and then you just see little things like that, and it just irks me.
Yeah.
And it's like I try not to look at it, but sometimes it's like
we got
Shut
enough
up.
for everybody. We got enough
Yeah.
for everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
like
Exactly.
Especially
Just
from
chill out.
like this recent direct, there was so much for PvP, so
I
much, and I'm
know.
so stoked for it as well. Yeah.
And it's
Sorry
just,
about
Moving
my
on.
it's just dumb that
Let's get it out.
like
Let's get it out.
the PvP people, like a lot of the very more competitive people, can't really like do the same for
They
Salmon
can't-
Run, you know? Or
yeah,
for
they
this card
can't.
game,
They
It's just
they don't
like,
care. They don't.
it's
they're like, I want
competitive
what
or
I want,
nothing.
and that's it.
you know?
Like this is I think this is why Brian is so respected in the Salmon Run community because he crosses both thresholds.
Yeah.
He's in
Right.
both, yeah.
Yeah. So he sees like both, and it's like, yeah, he's hugely respected in the Salmon Run community as well. So
Good for him. He's
Yeah,
done
he's
a
a
lot
legend.
too. So yeah.
Absolute
Yeah.
legend.
yeah, he's exposed Salmon Run to PvP players.
Mm.
So definitely.
He's got the reach for it, yeah.
Like I remember seeing a tweet from Kiva being like, "Salmon Run is fun when you play with friends," and I was like, "Yes, go Brian,
Aww.
yes."
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh,
Oh, one thing we didn't talk about with the extra wave was the fish scales.
oh
Right.
yes, that's very important. Yeah.
Yeah. Which are like you can exchange them for things afterwards.
Yes.
Things, I don't know what, but some sort of reward.
Things and new uniforms so you can not look the same. Which is
Oh,
pretty
yeah.
cool.
Customization.
Yeah, because in Salmon Run at the minute you've got one work outfit, right?
Yeah.
I can't
Whereas
wait
now
to
the-
see them. To be honest.
Yeah, I'm
really
so
looks
curious.
My headcanon for that is that I like to think that eventually the Inklings and Octolings like unionized, and one of the ways that Mr. Graves was like, alright, fine, was because, you know, in like the rest of like Splatoon, the whole point is they're all very customized and they love their fashion and whatnot. Can you imagine if you were spending all your time as an Inkling or as an Octoling doing Salmon Run and you had to be in the same clothes all the time and you change it normally whenever you're playing League or Ranked or whatever? And I feel like my personal headcanon is that they lobbied for this in some way. They were like, we can't stand this. And they had lots of different things they wanted. But Mr. Grizz was like, fine, you can have a different uniform. And that was like all he budged. That was it. And they were like, you know what, we'll take it. But yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to that. Like bringing more things over to Salmon Run, like customization.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Be good. And one of the other things is like there'll be special reward. Well, there'll be rewards that you can get from just playing Salmon Run as well. So it will show like, you know, with the splash tags.
Yeah.
There'll be like special designs just for reach and sort of like just for hitting targets or goals in Salmon Run. So you'll be able to see like who only plays Salmon Run versus who only plays PvP, right?
Which is really
So-
cool to be able to like display that in a way. Also,
Yeah.
probably in your locker as well. Can you imagine if you get to a certain point, you could have like a gold egg in your locker?
My locker is just going to be filled with thousands of gold eggs. That's it.
I
And probably
appreciate
dead small
that.
fry.
Yeah, like even in real life, like the amount of like I appreciate they're giving us more Salmon Run back. Like the what's it called? Little buddy?
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, the plush
Yeah.
Oh,
and
yeah.
the amiibo. Like
Oh my god, my face when I saw that little buddy amiibo. I was so excited.
Yeah, it was so funny whenever they first announced Splatoon 3, and a number of us were like, when we saw Little Buddy, we were like, oh no, Rachel's gonna have, this is gonna, how is she gonna get through this? She's been killing
Like,
them for so long.
Like legit, up until probably the direct last week, I was like, nah, I don't want little buddy anywhere near me. I hate them. They've caused me misery. But then I saw that amiibo and I was like, oh my god.
All it takes. All it takes.
Yeah.
Yeah, plushie
Yeah,
and
I
an
know.
amiibo, and that'll do it.
Yeah, basically.
Nintendo knows what they're doing.
I think that's
Most things, but there's
the
little
training
bits.
room.
Yes, training room's a big thing. We didn't know about this. This is on the website.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of stuff that they and a lot of stuff that they've announced for Salmon Run they didn't show in the Direct last week. A lot of this information is on their website. And much like the training room in PvP, there is now going to be I think they call it like a new office building for Salmon Run, where you have like target practice, and it says you can practice egg throwing, which is amazing.
So you can know the exact trajectory and what happens if it like hits different surfaces and whatnot. That's cool.
Yeah, and like the PvP thing, you'll watch you'll have the ghosts.
Oh, the ghosts!
Of the people in your lobby as well.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
So you can interact with them and stuff.
Nice.
Like, yeah, so that's just, I mean, that's a huge quality of life improvement just for Splatoon 3 overall, like for both PvP and Salmon Run. Like, how much time have we spent waiting in lobbies?
Yeah. Just sitting here, and then sometimes you can wiggle the joysticks and the music goes weird, and that's it. Like,
yeah, so like having this training room where you can mess about, throw eggs, and try out different weapons. I'm really interested to see what happens when you throw eggs into the water.
Oh yeah,
that was like.
I think they'll just disappear though.
Right, so that was a lot of... When we first had the first information about the next wave earlier this year, a lot of people were like, oh my god, egg throw. And then the next thought was like, oh my god, people are literally going to be throwing them at
Yeah, because they can't swim, so it's not like you can go in and get them. Yeah, I think that's it. You're fucked.
Oh, no.
So there is
literal throwing.
Yeah. So there's like two schools of thought. You either can't throw an egg into the water and it sort of just lands. There's like an invisible wall and it will just land at the shore.
Like that's how if something dies like right beside the beach or whatever, that's what happens to the eggs. If it's like over the water, it gets pushed in. But yeah.
Or they get thrown into the water and that's it, bye-bye.
Yeah, you shouldn't have done that. But then it's like, Nintendo, you do realise people will do that when you let them freelance.
Literally, that will be the first thing I do on 9th of September, is I will go into Salmon Run and I will throw an egg into the water, because I want to see what happens.
It's very important. This is for science.
It is for science. A lot of games you throw or you dick about with the RNG or the tech just to find out what happens when you push the limits of a game. Yeah. So I will definitely be doing that for the first week of release in Salmon Run. How many eggs can you throw in the water in a 90-second game?
Because you need to kill the bosses, but then completely just not water. Put the effort in.
I'm really another thing actually that I think will be interesting to talk about is I'm really interested for the tutorial for Salmon Run. I don't know if you guys remember the tutorial for Salmon Run in Splatoon 2.
Is it separated into two? I think I remember that.
Sort of, yeah.
And then you have to kill bosses, and then it's like, hey, now you can go. Yeah,
and it's really shit when you.
Oh yeah, it was so bad. It was really, really bad. Like, people would ask me to play, and I was like, you have to do the tutorial, and the tutorial didn't really give you much, especially with, like, special ones.
Yeah, it didn't even tell you that a griller existed, and then a griller comes out and comes and runs you over, right?
Like, how do we deal with this?
And the thing is, as well, like, a lot of those night waves, they don't appear until you get to certain ranks. So, like, I think what's the rank before professional? It's apprentice, isn't it?
Maybe. I've been there.
I don't know.
Like, I'm just trying to think off the top of my head because it's been a while since I've done it.
Yeah.
No, it's not apprentice. It's overachiever, right?
Yeah.
So it goes, you do the 2 tutorials, and then it goes apprentice, part-timer, go-getter, overachiever, and then professional.
Yeah.
Right? So there are some night waves that do not spawn until you get to overachiever. Right? And overachiever is only 0 to 100 again. So it is extremely possible that you can go throughout the whole of overachiever without seeing grillers, without seeing mothership.
Oh my god! And then you're in the professional, and then
you're a level 40 professional, and you can get ranked with someone who's a 999 professional,
and you've no idea what a griller is,
and you have absolutely no idea what you're doing.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah, and imagine getting chucked into, like, it wouldn't put you into like 9s, lobby because you'd be too low, right? Even if there was someone at 9s, the lobby itself would not be 9s.
So it has to average 2,400. Or it has to, well, not average, sorry. It has to
add up to
surpass 2,000.
Yeah. Okay.
So if you had...
Did you have 3 sets of 9s in there, and then...
Yeah.
Oh,
and then you get a baby Profresh, they would go straight into HLM. Yeah. So I think one of the biggest complaints about Salmon Run is the ranking system.
Yeah.
Because it is so poor. It's like an afterthought, basically. And the way I sort of surmise it in my head is like they didn't think Salmon Run was going to be as popular as it was.
Yeah. They didn't think this through.
Yeah, so they didn't think that maybe you shouldn't have a professional 40 and with a professional 999. And it's, so there's also the, like, if your lobby surpasses 2,400, and then there's also, like, pay grades, which are certain percentages on how much you get paid in rewards, and there's also a hazard level. And hazard level max is 200% difficulty. And so that's equivalent to all the ranks being 2,400 or higher. In Splatoon 3, they've increased that hazard level. And it says we've even recorded a 333% increase in hazard level at the sites where executive VP people work.
Yes, so that's the new... Like,
so
highest.
you'll have an extra rank. So you'll have professional, and then you'll have executive VP.
That's good. So it's like
your X rank. Yeah, that's actually funny.
They should have done that in the first place.
I mean, I guess, but like another quality of life improvement that they did do for Splatoon 2 is like when you get to professional 999, you used to reset down to 100. And then after a while, one of the patches brought that up to 200, 300, or 400. So clearly, like, they see professional 400 as a separate rank from anything below it. Right?
Yeah, you have to get there and then all that's about
maintain it.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming executive VP will be professional equivalent to professional 400 or higher. That's what, or maybe professional 600 and higher.
Yeah, something like that.
That would make sense. And it'd be really nice because you always hear people complaining about randos and freelancers, and I do it all the time as well. But a lot of it is down to the fact that how the game is designed and who it pairs you with. Like, the tutorial is garbage. Like, it doesn't tell you enough, and it tells you, like, quite bad things. So when you do end up in a lobby way higher than you, you just spend your time dead.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't know what you're doing.
No, exactly. There just isn't really much you can be doing, right?
Like, if you're used to having a quota of 10 and then you suddenly go into a quota of 21.
Yeah,
that's a giant difference.
Yeah, because
struggle.
The difficulty of bosses is insane, the difference. And even things like rush, like the chum rush you faster at hazard level max compared to the other ranks.
Yeah, there's no way they'd be ready for that.
yeah. Just thinking of all these baby squids accidentally getting into professional 9s games.
Yeah, that would not be good.
No, but I'm super, like, again, that's a huge quality of life improvement for people like me that play it very seriously or like at a very high level. Just separate that. I'm sure people have the same complaints about solo queue. And that I think Splatoon prioritizes quicker matches over quality matches, doesn't it?
Right, yeah.
So it'll be nice to see that change in Splatoon 3. Maybe, I don't know about PvP, but because I get scared when I go into a JP lobby and it's like average X rank power 2600, and you're like, holy crap, what am I doing in here?
Please, let me go back to my actual lobbies. I'm scared. Take me home.
Yeah, but now you can choose though, so it's way.
Oh yeah, you got the region.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I'm
so glad. There's so many things that they put into this game in general.
So many quality, even just like quality of life stuff, like that. You know, it's not like big and flashy, but it's useful. You know.
Yeah, like skipping the news. Hugely useful.
Very useful.
Okay.
Anything else?
I think that is.
Well, we didn't really talk about Big Run.
Oh, yeah. Well, we don't know much about it.
Yeah.
Right? So it's
We
just...
talked a little bit about it, but yeah, that's it. It's just whatever it's just the main thing, but on the other maps.
Yeah, and might be more like the Splatfest of Salmon Run in a way, that it's an event.
So,
Or it might not.
The biggest wish that I had for Splatoon 3 was endless Salmon Run.
Mm-hmm.
That was like my absolute, like, if I could wish for anything in this game, it would be to have an endless horde mode, right? Where the difficulty slightly goes up each time and you just see how long you can go. I would have loved that.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that we didn't get that doesn't really upset me too much because it's sort of like a long shot.
Yeah.
But we get something called Big Run instead, which looks equivalent to like a Splatfest, happens every couple of months or so, and the Salmonids are going to overtake everything.
Yeah.
That looks so dope.
Yeah.
I'm so excited for it.
And I like the idea that might be a way that old maps come back, like old maps that they're not bringing to like competitive, to ranked or whatever, that you can just flood them and see how it works for Salmon Run. I like that concept. So that it doesn't need to be stuck to the maps that you can play in ranked or whatever. Because I think they have rails and stuff to Moray. I think that might be really cool.
Oh yeah.
With just the different levels. I don't know. I just think because the maps that we do have, even the ones that we're leaving behind in Splatoon 2, because they're all so distinctive from each other and they have their own kind of style to them, they could work in very interesting ways for Big Run.
Yeah, like just the trailer with Wahoo World completely flooded. I was just like, wow. Like I didn't even know what to say because I don't think anyone was expecting it.
Nope. No.
And it looks amazing.
Yeah.
It looks so cool.
Yeah, and the chaos of it. I love it.
Yeah, like I'm super excited for that. And the other thing that I wanted to talk about actually is Grisco weapons.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, because like at the moment we have 4, right? We have the Blaster, the Brella, the Charger, and the Slosher. I wonder if we'll get a new one. I think someone in the community found a picture of the Grisco Charger in the background of Sheldon's. You know where you go to get the weapons?
Oh, his shop, yeah.
Yeah, there's a picture of the Grisco Charger in the background. So it looks like the Charger might be coming back.
I like the Slosher. I hope they bring that one back because I just like the way
me too.
It just feels so different, you know?
Yeah.
It plays so different.
And the way and it pierces everything. And the fact that you can kill flyfish with it as well, things like that.
Yeah. I love the aspect of the possibility of the Grisco weapons where they can completely flip like a weapon class on its head because all they are is that weapon but different. They don't have to be spam. They can do anything with them, right?
Like, imagine a Grisco roller with, like, the movement of a carbon but the power of a dynamo.
Oh my god, that'd be so cool! That'd be so cool. Yeah, like...
I would love a revamp of the Brella as well, because the Brella is kind of garbage.
Yeah,
right?
the Brella's shit.
It's so rubbish. All it does is paint well.
Yeah.
And, but I would love it if you had the same weapon, but it popped out tents like the tent umbrella.
Yes. Like, that'd be so cool if it was just immediate, like, you've got the tent back each time, you know?
Yeah, like it spawns super quick, or it's got like a high damage amount on it, so it can withstand quite a lot. Things like that. I'm hoping we get some different Grisco weapons. Or like, just like, one of the other things as well that is really fun about Salmon Run as it is like, you know, the Explosher. Can take out flyfish baskets.
Oh yeah, I think I've seen someone do that before. I have a feeling it's Celia has been like, "Did you know that this does this?" And then showed me, and I was like, "Oh, what?" And she's like, "Yeah, how did you not know this?" Random.
Yeah, like it's not immediately clear that you can do that.
Yeah,
and I think the only reason that was added is because the Explo was a new weapon for Splatoon 2, right? It was added later. So they incorporated the weapon into Salmon Run separately. The same that they did with the Slosher as well. So it'd be interesting to see certain tech with weapons work that way in the new game, in Splatoon 3. Like if there'll be any different ways to use them.
It's already clear that they're looking at Salmon Run as more of a, like, its own thing as opposed to just an add-on. So I feel like that's likely. Like, it's all done in mind.
Yeah, like it's just, there's so much to look forward to, and it's not long to go now.
No, it's really not. It's really not.
Can't wait.
So hyped.
Yeah, just even from like a Salmon Run perspective, I have so much to look forward to and to do that I'm almost going to be neglecting the other parts of the game for a while.
No, that makes sense. That completely makes sense. Because, you know, you've, like, this is a lot of stuff. We have been talking about this for like almost an hour and a quarter here, and therefore it kind of shows that there's a lot just on Salmon Run to talk about.
And this is just what we've seen so far. We haven't even played the game. We haven't seen really that much.
Yeah, and some of this is
plenty
just
more
speculation at this point.
Yeah.
So who knows? But yes.
There'll be much, much more.
That being said, we should probably wrap this up a little bit, and so that we can get on to the interview with PixelSquid. But thank you so much for this, by the way. You did so much research for this as well. We looked at the direct, and we were like, yes, we'll write a little list, and then Rachel just came in with so much more for us, and it was just like, yes, this is what we need.
Imagine if I was just a full-time Salmon Run employee. Like, I put so much effort and I care so much about it.
Yeah, or maybe you're just like, you're an actual employee for Mr. Grizz and this is all just like a PR stunt, you know, like...
Who knows?
But yes, thank you so much. This has been so good. Oh my goodness.
Oh, my pleasure. It's been so fun.
It has indeed. And we really, like, I love the idea of coming back to look at this after... like a good couple months from now, once like everything's settled and stuff, like people have been figuring out stuff about Salmon Run that maybe isn't immediately obvious, and we can come back and talk about what we knew and what we didn't, and how things that we maybe speculated about, how they maybe like came true or didn't, you know.
Possibly didn't come true.
Possibly didn't come true, yeah. But yeah, I think that would be awesome. Oh my goodness.
Sounds like a good idea.
But yes, thank you so much for doing this. Really, really appreciated. But yes, we're gonna finish up this section of the podcast. So love to have you on again at some point in the near future. It's always so much fun.
Yes.
Yeah. And yeah, I think we're gonna finish up here. We'll just pass it on over to the interview section. Welcome everyone! Now we're on to the interview section of the podcast, and we have on today PixelSquid, who we have had on the podcast before, talking about Splatoon 3. And if you watched our last podcast, you would have heard it as well. Talking about Splatoon 3. So, Pixel,
hello.
Introduce yourself.
I'm PixelSquid. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. What do you do, PixelSquid? Who are
I
you?
am a content creator. I do like various events and tournaments. I do a lot of stuff. Like mainly on YouTube and just for the UK Splatoon community.
Yeah, nice. Love that. Alright, well we are going to start asking you questions about like how you start out in Splatoon, what brought you here, what got you into those kind of things. But I think Ty's gonna start us off with
Pixel, what originally got you into Splatoon?
I don't know. It just got picked up. I like Nintendo. I think I originally saw the game. It was at, I think E3 2014. They showed it off for the first time, and it looked really cool. And then I done the test fires like a few weeks before the original one came out on the Wii U back in May 2015. And yeah, it was so fun. So I just decided to pick up. And then I've been playing the game for 7 years. Oh my god!
Could it be me?
Feel old.
it's gonna be crazy when it hits 10 in like a few years. It's like, oh my god.
Oh, that's weird. Yo,
That
that's
is
like a whole
weird.
child.
It's like a whole child.
Yeah, literally, like there's like probably like 5-year-old kids who got into Splatoon like right now. It's like,
That's
well, that's messed
weird.
up. That's so
That's
messed up.
messed up.
It is though.
Oh my goodness.
But yeah, played Splatoon on the Wii U, then Splatoon 2 on the Nintendo Switch, and then Splatoon 3 this September.
Oh my
It's gonna be a fun time.
Yes, if you're, I don't know how you would have got this far through our podcast. Like, there's already been 2 other podcasts talking about Splatoon 3. If you didn't know it's coming out on September 9th, that is surprising. Got this
Splatoon
far.
3, the hit title from Nintendo, coming to the Nintendo Switch with the Splatoon 3 OLED Switch in this like next week, and then the game's coming out September 9th.
I know,
Ink,
it's
turf,
a busy
all the
month.
maps.
That
It's
it is.
crazy.
But right,
It literally is
on to the
crazy.
next question to keep this moving. What was your first weapon that you got like you mained or really got into?
Yeah, like
In Splatoon 1 or 2.
Probably Splatoon 1, but you could give us both.
yeah.
Yeah.
I guess I guess I can say both. For the first one, I played with a lot of weapons, but I think the one I used to use a lot was one of the aerosprays. I love that weapon so much. I still use it today.
Oh my god.
And then for Splatoon 2, I honestly got really into the Octobrush.
I remember
Mainly, yeah.
Brush me.
Brush me.
What? Yeah, definitely a brush main. But like, which kits? I think I used. Funny enough, it was because around that time only 2 kits for the Octobrush came out, which was the Octobrush and then Octobrush Nouveau. Yeah, both are good.
Wasn't one of them the Inkjet one?
Inkjet one. Oh no, I think Nouveau. I'm probably saying that wrong, but has the beacon and missiles, and then the original one is I think Autobomb and Inkjet.
Chicken and
Yeah.
Inkjet. Yeah, that rings a bell. Could never get into either of them, but that rings a bell.
But yeah, I definitely use those definitely in like early competitive for Splatoon 2.
Yes, I remember being on a team with you when you were a brushman.
Yeah. I made some like good plays with that Octobrush, but
All those years ago.
yeah, it has been a little while. But I guess recently, like I've been playing a lot more weapons recently, but I've been using more the Ken's Octobrush because that kit was like amazing. Suction and Ultra Stamp. Oh my god, what a good kit!
Yeah, out of the 3 of them, that makes sense to me as being the best. Like, still missiles, so it gets play. And Inkjet has been nerfed pretty hard, but
yeah. Funny enough, I actually started to use the Tenta missiles more in ranked recently. It actually worked out really well, and it's like, oh my god, I might actually start using this.
It's meta for a reason, Pixel.
But no, like Octobrush Nouveau, like definitely plays differently with the other Octobrushes. You need to play more support, like painting up more, and then placing beacons down. Yeah, you don't have a bomb. Like, imagine a
brush without a bomb.
like,
That's just weird.
But it works though, because like you just paint more and just get general control, like more like a support, and then just get, because you want to get like turf points to get your missiles out.
Yeah.
Get them out. Keep getting them out. Beacon jump there. Yeah.
Yes, you play that weapon as a missiles main, not as a brush main. To think,
I guess
to think about it, like back when Splatoon 2 originally came out, and everyone was like, "Oh, missiles," and then it just over time, eventually, everyone was like, "But missiles, though," and it's so funny to think how some of those original weapons, you're like, okay, I can kind of, like, I can see people with it, and I can send missiles after them, I suppose. But maybe I should play a different weapon. And now it's like, but we need a missiles person though on the team. We need to.
Nah, nobody likes missiles anymore. Did you see their reaction when they brought it back for Splatoon 3?
Not everyone.
It's very funny.
Nobody likes.
I think we all manifested themselves to come back for Splatoon 3. That's just my theory right now.
Yeah, it took us too long to put it in the metas. Nintendo was like, maybe we'll let them have it for a bit longer. But yes, on to, I suppose, the third question?
The next question, which is, what did you find hard about the game when you first started to play it?
I didn't find anything hard because I'm that good.
Okay.
Younger Pixel was just too much of a gamer.
Yeah. Too gamer for Splatoon. But like thinking it's hard to think like what I actually found difficult. I think was just getting adjusted to the gyro controls because it was just a new thing around that time. And yeah, like it's hard to like because we've been playing the game so much. It's hard to go like think back at the start when you first played Splatoon. Yeah, oh baby, yeah.
Wait, how old? Well, you're like teen.
I was
Teenager.
about to turn 15 when Splatoon.
Oh my god,
baby!
No, I'm not baby. Oh my god. I growed up with Splatoon. That's all.
That's so weird. Oh, it's like you hear it from like other people. Yeah, this was my childhood. Yeah, I grew up with this game. I grew up with this TV show, and it's like, yeah, you really did. Like nearly 10 years later.
But talking about going back to the 7 years since the original game, when I talk to like more newer players and all that stuff, they're like around the age I started to play in the game.
That's very.
It's true. Like, what the hell? Like, what is this?
Yeah, it's been so weird, like, having been... Because I agree with you. I think I was maybe 16, close to being 17 whenever Splatoon originally came out. And it's so weird now, being so much older, and being like, you see, like, even before, like, COVID and, like, we weren't able to go to LANs for ages. I remember going to LAN events and being like, damn, some of the people we're, like, playing against are, like, actual teenagers. And I was so past being a teenager by that point, maybe, like, 2018, 2019. And it was just like, there are some young kids here. This feels weird, playing against children.
I think I felt that a lot more after like pandemic and when like the recent events Splatoon happened. I just realized, oh yeah, I'm the old one now. Wait, but then it's like I guess everyone has like a growth spurt between the pandemic because it's been 2 years like gap between like the last Splatoon events for the UK. So
it's really weird to see all these small kids and then they're like taller than me, and I was like, wow. Time just flies.
It's literally the merch growth spurt from Splatoon 2 to Splatoon 3.
No, basically.
It is though.
Alright. What's the next question?
How did you get into the Splatoon community? We'll start with that. Like, how did you end up with other people who played Splatoon? What was the...
Yeah.
How did this start?
Yeah, how did I think it's... Wait, just talking about the general Splatoon community or, like, UK?
Well, I'd say, like, how did you get into the community, like, at all?
In general, yeah.
Yeah, and then maybe
I played the game, of course.
Yeah, but I mean, like talking to people, you know, was it Discord?
No,
was it
communication,
Twitter?
like, playing with a team.
Yeah.
I always had, like, more... It's not really a statement, but, like, I kind of just... I didn't really talk to a lot of people in the general Splatoon community, more just UK community. I think the main points I got into it was mainly from, like, starting to enter, like, online offline tournaments. So, back in 2016, there was the G-Community's Splatoon Great British Split Off.
I remember that. I heard about that.
The whole name.
So, I entered. I forgot. Oh no. Okay. I entered with some of my friends at school at the time, and then again go against so many people that I didn't realize who they were at the time until like Splatoon 2 era. So I entered that. Luckily, our team got like a random invite to do like enter the top 8 at the June 30th like venue. Ooh. So we decided to go to that, and I met quite a few people, but I don't know. I was very social. Had social anxiety, so I didn't really talk to a lot. So maybe a few, but more just stick to my friends. But then when Splatoon 2 came around, that was the time where I started to talk to more people, either on Discord or just like going to these events and stuff. So I guess was my big entry to enter
That's
the
pretty
Splatoon
good.
community.
You did like a whole 360 of being like super anxious or have anxiety, and now you literally just talk to anyone and everyone.
Yeah,
and you have a big confidence too. Like you have a lot.
I show I show that I have big confidence, but sometimes I do have I'm a bit anxious sometimes. But yeah, you just need to be confident.
Yeah,
that's the motto in this interview. Just be confident.
Just be confident.
Yeah, it's just that easy.
It is though. But yeah, like. As going quickly back to the Splatoon community, it's like for the UK, like for one, it was very hard to like. There was not really any groups for like, the first year. Sure, I believe there was like Splatoon UK Facebook, some other places. A Splatoon, one of the original Splatoon Discord also got like set up between the end of Splatoon to Splatoon 2. So it started to like there was forming communities. Like up more end of Splatoon 1 to the start of Splatoon 2, really.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's interesting.
It is. Just look back and realize how we got here. You know.
Literally.
Yeah, because we've all got like different stories of how we ended up in these communities. It's very weird.
I didn't touch Splatoon and Mino though.
Oh, I did. Oh my god.
Yeah, I remember you said that in the podcast, one of the original podcasts.
Yeah.
I know that felt like bait. I wasn't going to touch that.
Oh wait, yeah.
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 Yeah, I did.
Oh my god.
Well,
yeah,
you don't know what Discord is.
I know. I didn't. I was new to Discord. I didn't know anything. The only thing, like when I first started, I went through YouTube first, and then Twitch, and then Discord. So all I was seeing is just this like ads for this app and shit. I was like, okay, I'll try. See if
I didn't cave in.
Like,
I didn't know. You're saying you're better than us. Is this where this is going,
what?
Pixel? I didn't
No. Like
Mino's charms, like you two.
More early Splatoon days, I also looked at YouTube. And I noticed a lot of people were advertising the app. Yeah. And it's like, I'm not going to touch this. This feels bait. Like,
you had your Splatoon friends in real life. The rest of us were just suffering.
Basically. Just online, no friends.
Exactly.
Yeah, like, it seems like a cool app, but I would never want to touch it, I feel.
Wow.
But, like, I am curious. Like, I bet there's a bunch of people who use the app to start joining Splatoon community and stuff. I'm actually gonna ask that to some other people. I don't know.
Yeah. Mino does tend to come up from what I've heard. Like maybe not specifically the people we've talked to on the podcast, but what I've heard from other people is a lot of people have come through. I mean, because that's the thing, right? If you don't know what Discord is, you're not like on Twitter like that, and maybe you could find your way through Facebook. But
yeah,
whenever
I've heard a few people go through Facebook.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like Facebook is still a possibility.
Good. Yeah. I feel like Twitter is probably like the least one. It's not really a community, it's just your profile and that's it.
Well, it's more people if you already know.
Yeah.
Because all my followers are people that I've already met already.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So. But yeah, if you're in that scenario, then and you look up on like the App Store Splatoon, what's gonna come up? Amino. Right?
Yeah, true.
Like, how else are you going to figure out that Discord is kind of like the place for these communities. You have to have your way in. The only other thing I can think of is like starting from lands, right? Going to a LAN
Yeah.
and then, or going to a meetup or an event or a tournament or something, and just being like, but a lot of those are advertised through Discord.
Yeah, but then it's interesting, like early days for Splatoon as well. Because Discord was like started in the same around the same time Splatoon, the original Splatoon came out. So Discord was very new still, so not a lot of people knew about it until like more 2016 to 2017.
I think I got into it like a year after Splatoon's launch, because around then I got into Amino and very like I was looking for other people and nothing ever went anywhere with this, but I talked to someone who was trying to set up like a server for people to help each other with specific weapons. Like they're like, do you know how to, are you like a roller player? Would you be up for like helping other people to get started on roller? It was that kind of thing, but like, and I got invited to a Discord server, and there was a couple people in it, but it never really went anywhere. And because I already downloaded Discord, whenever it was like I joined my first team, it was just so easy to be like, oh yeah, I have Discord, I can just join your server. But I didn't really know how Discord worked even at that point. But yeah.
Very interesting time early. Like the first 1-2 years of Splatoon, and then Discord, and then Amino and all that stuff. It's very interesting.
Yes, we have got sidetracked though. There's more like questions to do with the Splatoon community, but this is very interesting.
So I don't know. You've been through a lot of stuff and done a lot of stuff. So can you pinpoint your most impactful memory from Splatoon in general, or
like overall? Choose one.
Overall,
would you like impactful?
What do you mean?
Like
impactful?
Well, you
what made the
you
most
can
impact?
split up like for like events part, and then like maybe like community and people part, or something.
Oh yeah, okay, that will definitely help me. Like okay, I guess the community just all like event wise. Honestly, my impactful memory is probably Splatoon now.
Oh.
I
know that's like
really.
I know that's like early, like very early bias, but that event was like special. I put my blood and sweat into that.
Yes, and it actually worked really well. It went really well.
Oh yeah,
it was mega hyped.
It was mega hyped. For those who don't know what Splat Reunion was, Pixel.
I'm doing the pose right now. Splat Reunion. Okay, Splat Reunion was a top 4 grand finals event, which had qualifiers over the summer, and happened early August at Boulogne Sutton. It was a final UK event for Splatoon 2. And yeah, it was hype.
All 3 of us were there. It was really good.
Yeah. But yeah, like, I don't know, it might be like recently biased, but I don't know, that I'm always really proud how that event like runs.
No, I think you definitely have good reason to. It was an amazing LAN.
Yeah. And it was something that I wanted to do for like months before, so I'm happy how it turned out. I guess some runners up. Let me think. Oh, there's so many.
Surely Nogami's gotta be in there somewhere, right?
Yes, yeah, that the Splatoon UKC Grand Finals 2018 event, just like going there January, was like mega fun. And I guess the Breeze events as well.
Breeze.
Mega fun.
We're not allowed to ask questions about any future Breeze events.
So Pixel, what's happening with Breeze? You got any info on that?
Yeah, I can share exclusive info.
That would be so good.
Oh my god.
Well, I am though. Breeze 3 is soon, TM. I'm so excited when that we all start to give out information. Soon.
Yes.
It's gonna be hype.
It is gonna be hype. I cannot wait until we actually have more information. We can know what's happening.
For Breeze 3 events coming soon.
But yeah, so you'd say like those are your most impactful then, yeah?
Yeah, I could honestly list like all day.
Yeah, you could keep talking, but
Because,
we're
like-
gonna focus on keeping on talking about other questions. For example, do you have any thoughts on the Splatoon grind? So for example, in ranked, team, like, while being part of a team, stuff like that, like to get to higher levels, but you have to grind it out.
It's fun most of the time.
It's fun?
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Wait, were you expecting no? Hello, like, wait, there's different like types of Splatoon grinding.
Yeah,
right?
like, do you actually have fun whenever you're grinding rank in ranked?
honestly, recently, yes.
Oh wow.
Like I hadn't touched like before, like recently, because I saw in the recent event up. I wanted to do. I will go back into like I want to get back into competitive and like play ranked. So I just tried it out, and I've been playing it for like the past, just not like always, but like now and then I go into ranked for like the past like 1 to 2 months. And
What
yeah,
have
it's
you
a
been
fun time.
using?
A various
The
range of
brush with the
weapons.
missiles?
Yeah, that's a good one. I used that on Dwarf Institute, and that's really good for that map. Been using somewhat brushes, but a lot of special shot juniors as well for some reason.
Interesting.
Nice.
But yeah, like I don't know. I like the grind set, the grind set. But I that's like one type of grinding. But the other one I like to ability chunk grind. I just like going to turf or just getting more ability chunks for some reason. Even though I don't use them anymore.
Yeah, what sets are you making with less than a month until the new game?
What's my purpose? I don't know. My purpose is just to get more ability chunks to get the number higher.
Oh my goodness. Anyway,
Just a note. Should we ask him about that? Because we're gonna be talking about that.
yeah, I don't think we're gonna ask you about Splatoon 3 because there was a whole section in the last podcast about Splatoon 3. So I think by this point we understand your thoughts on Splatoon 3.
Let's just say I'm excited for Splatoon 3.
Yeah,
That's all.
I think
Fair
everyone
enough.
knows that. Don't worry.
So next question is: did you play combo? Obviously,
Competitive, yeah.
we know you did.
Yeah.
So what is one of your favorite comp moments?
Oh, cool. Oh. 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 I'm thinking.
Yeah, we know.
I'm going through my book of Splat history for UK.
History.
I literally have a document of all the events and
Are you
stuff.
Oh my
serious?
god.
I will send it to you after the interview, but
Oh
That
my
you've
God.
played
It's
in,
so cool.
not like that you've hosted, like that you've.
just general UK events I either attend or just I knew that was happening.
That is
but-
next level
Wow.
when it comes
So-
to like organization.
Yeah.
Okay.
I do be like that, I guess.
Yeah,
But
apparently.
comp wise, like I think it because I'm not really right now. I'm not really in a team. I do want to get back into a team for Splatoon 3, but it's been this while since I've really played competitive tournaments. Since I just more TO and organized stuff now. But I think my favorite I guess like sets or matches was at Nintendo UK versus London 2018, which was in July. I was in a team called Spatsquids, so I was with player me, Raven, Miju, and Muluk, who were like I used to play with them all the time for like UKC stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So we were against another team called #3, which involved Malvo, Redwez, Ruben, and Scotty.
Uh-huh.
And that match was fire. Like it was so close. It was a best of 5, and we went to game 5, and it ended up with a Clan Blitz game. I can't believe it.
Oh.
It was so
the
intense.
best mode ever.
Yeah. It was so intense, though. Like one of the games, there was Rainmaker on Port Mackerel.
Mm-hmm.
Is it? No, not Rainmaker on Wally Warehouse.
Mm.
And it was overtime, and we had to take the Rainmaker to the other side to get a few more points in.
Mm-hmm.
The Miju was holding the Rainmaker. I was doing like Octobrush stuff. The Stingray. Yeah, I was. That's just I do Octobrush business. I just do it. Just splatting through. But it was so close. The Stingray almost got Miju, but we made it, and all the team's faces were like out of the seats and stuff. It was amazing. Like, yeah, that probably that Pacific match is like ingrained in my head, I feel.
Forevermore.
Yeah.
Well, clearly, yeah. But wow, that was not quite the level of detail I was expecting. But thank you.
Yeah,
it
like
really paints
I
the
will.
picture.
Yeah, I will definitely send some like it's on YouTube, so I definitely will send you.
Cool. Yeah,
footage
that would be
to
good.
Yeah, well, we can link to it. That's cool. We can put that in the description or something. That's great.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay. What did you find most difficult about playing competitive?
It's definitely well, it's competitive, so it is competitive, but it is competitive at the end of the day. Like, there's a lot of like not aggression, not like mean aggression, but there's a lot. There's just so many strong teams out there, so it's definitely if you want to be good, you need to be good. Like,
yeah.
Yeah, and it's just that mentality to have like with you like all the time for the tournament. You need the energy up always, from the start to the end of like how many games you play in the tournament. Either if you're in losers brackets to like semi-finals or grand finals and all that stuff.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess just the general grind of like making your team like good and pushing at tournaments and stuff also.
Yeah, it can be quite difficult to just like keep up with that. You know, especially in between tournaments, right? Like they're your goals. You're trying to get as far as you can in them, but you also need to keep that practice up and that energy up. Wow,
that motive as well.
Yeah, exactly.
There's so many factors in it, like practicing, team morale, making sure you're actually available. Like
yes,
coming up with like, strategies as well. That normally
strategies,
goes by the wayside.
map plays.
Yeah,
and even like team gelling. That's probably not the right name.
Oh yeah,
synergy.
Team synergy. If you don't have that, it won't work out.
That's not gonna...
Especially pickup teams. Like sometimes it's just really bad.
Yeah,
it's like, I don't want to play.
Yeah.
So what are you doing right now regards to Splatoon? Well, some them things of what you're doing. Or anything else?
And also you could probably shout out like your channel and whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Let the people know where to find you.
Yeah. I'm actually on the break because after so much events and organizing, I'm just relaxing. No, I'm on fire right now. Producing the best Splatoon 3 content on YouTube. PixelSquid YouTube channel, search up. Watch 103 facts about Splatoon 3 right now because that took me forever.
We will link your YouTube channel also in the description along with probably your Twitter. Yeah,
Twitter. Yeah, I post Splatoon there as well.
Yes, you do.
I feel like you should put a giant explosion when he like switch.
That's the funny thing. I was chatting with him about editing the other night, and he showed me some stuff, and there's an explosion in one of his videos. And I was like, he was just scrubbing through, showing me some things, and I was like, "Is that an explosion?" Nice. And he was like,
it was a transition. It was such a good one. It's like not just 60 facts, not 80 facts, but 103 facts about Splatoon.
Yeah, 3. I saw that.
Explosion.
It's so pixel. Well, also, I'm gonna ask you about bubble tea in a sec, but I just had a thought as well for an additional question that we might want to add in. So, well, this is just an idea. But do you have any tips for anyone who either wants to get into competitive with Splatoon 3 right in the horizon, or wants to get back into it, on what you're intending to do?
Yeah, enter my tournaments, please.
Oh my goodness.
He has a point. You know,
Yes.
practice.
I
is
need the
perfect.
teams. I need the sign up some teams, please, so I
Mm.
can do bigger things for the UK. It'd be so cool. But honestly, go as we mentioned about communities. Definitely get into your local community, if it's in UK or anywhere else. Find players to like team up with. Sure, you can be like that solo queue ranked player, but Splatoon as a game series in LA is a 4-player based team, so you need 3 other players.
Yeah, go make some friends. You fucking.
Touch some grass. But yeah, but squad up. With the new ranked modes, like you can play up to 4 players of like on the same team in ranked. That's huge. Definitely try squad up. Find people in various Discord servers, on Twitter, etc. And like, yeah, team up and see if you gel with them, and try to enter tournaments. Like any tournaments will do.
Yeah.
Either online or offline.
Yeah, because that's the thing, you know, any practice is good practice, and also it helps you to figure out if you do synergize with these people or not, and then you can kind of like feel quickly, right? That's what you want to do. You want to figure out what's not working, and then be able to fix it or move on or work with it, you know? So yeah, definitely. Practicing is important. And also just even if you go enter a tournament and you go, I want to, like, it's grand. You played, you know? You can take, always look at a tournament that you're taking part in with people as a possible learning experience where you can take away from it what your opponents did right. So
it's an experience in the day. The experience you need to push yourself to go further beyond.
Okay.
Right. And then also
Cool.
Okay.
to finish us off.
What is your favorite bubble tea?
Oh, that's a good one.
Favorite flavor, favorite mix, hot, cold. How do you like it?
I will judge you
I
regardless
like-
what you say.
Wait.
No. There's only one right answer.
I honestly, I don't really have like a go-to one though. I usually like try to mix it up. There's so many options though. There's the possibilities are endless.
Okay, fine. I'll give you 2. Give me 2 bubble tea options like you like.
I like anything fruity. Fruity flavor is good.
Yeah, but
I like the black chewy ball things. Those are cool.
you mean tapioca?
Yeah, those.
my God.
I know you hate them, but I like them so much. They're so
Do you
nice.
like it? So do you like milk tea with tapioca, or do you like
Yeah, milk tea's pretty good.
cold or hot?
Why do you have hot? Just have cold.
What? They normally have hot milk tea, dude. Oh my god. What?
No, they usually give you like fruity like milk at the places I go to.
Well, you can do milk fruit teas. That is something you can do.
Yeah. But we normally get mango coolers, so
Yeah.
like more mango juice.
Or like mango fruit tea, and even when we're getting mango fruit tea, it's cold.
It's like green tea.
Yeah.
Like
I'm a bit confused about some like places though. Like when I went to the one like I don't know, it's like a one store thing. They don't have any like juice more like the juice there. They only have milk and stuff. It was weird.
oh well, we need to take you because we literally nearly go every time we meet up for the meetup because we go to the specific one in Chinatown.
Yeah.
Or Soho.
In Chinatown.
Oh, I know. Bubble Logic, is that the one?
Oh, I think we tend to end up at chat time.
Yeah, it's Chinatown, the purple one.
I don't know that one.
Because purple.
But yes, regardless, I do believe we are going to finish our interview here. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So thank you. Okay. Thank you everyone for listening. We as well, if you've made it this far, you will probably have listened to the other podcasts we've had out recently. It has been you're getting a lot of content at once right now because we're trying to get this all out before
Splatoon
3 comes out. But you never know. We might have not reached that goal, and this might be coming out after. You never know. Like, you can't be sure. But yeah. So there is going to be more podcast content. We haven't quite settled into a rhythm yet, as we're still figuring out what's the best way to be editing stuff. But yes, this should be available on YouTube. If you're listening to this is available on YouTube, and if you're watching it, this is also available on Spotify and Google Podcasts, and I think one other place. I can never remember where's the other podcast place we have it. But yes, so by all means, if you're one to listen to it, I don't know, like I always advertise this at the end, and then I'm like, but you've got the whole way through, but this is maybe for next time, just to know that you don't have to watch it, or you can watch it, and you can just listen to it as well. So yes, we are going to finish up here. Thank you so much to Pixel and to Rachel earlier on for taking part in our little podcast. That's very much appreciated.
Be sure to subscribe to Spilling Bubble Tea on the platforms.
On the platforms.
And thanks for watching.
Yes. Thank you everyone for watching. And yeah, we'll let you know when another one.
See you next
out.
episode.
Yeah, see you soon. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.